There are highly empathic people, just as there are highly logical people and extremely athletic people. Most human abilities exist on a spectrum shaped somewhat like a bell-shaped curve. Most of us are somewhere around average, bunched in a hump in the middle. Very few people fall at the extreme ends of the curve. I could easily accept that there are many empathic people around, with a few extremely empathic people at one end and a few people at the other end who are strikingly unempathic. However, I believe that anyone calling themselves an empath is misguided and is likely to be exaggerating their abilities and claiming to know more about other people's feelings than is humanly possible. What is an empath? The term, empath, was popularized by a television show called Star Trek: The Next Generation. Counselor Deanna Troi, a beautiful woman with a kind demeanor and extraordinary hair, who was half betazoid alien and half human, was the ship's resident empath. Her job was to be a calming, soothing, understanding presence who could help people to navigate difficult emotional situations with as little emotional upset as possible. There were a lot of made-up characters with a variety of different special powers throughout the entire Star Trek series. I am especially fond of Klingons, who were amazing fighters. However, Star Trek is make-believe. Empaths are make-believe characters invented by the writers for the television series, just as Klingons were. Doctors and psychiatrists do not believe in empaths. It is not a real diagnosis or an accurate description of anyone. In the rare event a respected psychologist, such as Judith Orloff, Ph.D., uses the term empath, she is very careful to define exactly what she means and say that it is not a medical diagnosis. I wish she had chosen a different term that is not so likely to be misunderstood by non-mental health professionals. So, what are so-called empaths likely to experience when they are judged by doctors and psychiatrists? This is impossible to guess. I have a pretty good idea of what the medical professionals are likely to think if they had watched Star Trek. Is this person delusional? Does this person need to hold onto the idea that they have superpowers to offset their low self-esteem? Did they watch Star Trek? Punchline: we have to be careful to differentiate who we would like to be from who we actually are. Calling oneself an empath is claiming to have special powers that other human beings do not have. That is why Star Trek attributed Counselor Troi's unusual gifts to her betazoid heritage. I am pretty logical, but I would never claim to have the same powers as Dr. Spock. Actually, I think I would prefer to be able to fight like a Klingon.